Okay, here again we have some more application problems dealing with rates. So this says Earl kept the following record of the gas he bought for his car. Find the number of miles he traveled and the unit rate. And then find your answers to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we need to fill in our columns here. It says, okay, here's his date. His odometer started at this amount and it ended at this amount. So we need to find the miles traveled. Now you can either do this by hand or you can use your calculator, either way. So if I want to use my calculator, I need to take how many miles he ended up with, which was 27,758.2. And I'm going to subtract off what he started with, which was 27,432.3 miles. So that's going to give us a miles of 325.9. So I'm going to write that in on my thing right here, on my column. So 325.9 miles is how much he traveled. And if you think about that, that should make sense. If he starts with this reading and ends with this reading, then the subtraction or the difference between the two is how many miles he traveled. Now, it says that he purchased 15.5 gallons of gas. They want to know the miles per gallon. Well, I always like to let my answer lead me into how to find the answer. If they want miles per gallon, then that means I have to write miles over gallons. Well, if I know that we traveled 325.9 miles and he purchased 15.5 gallons to replace what he had used, then this is how we would set that up. And now we can let our calculator again to do the actual division part of it. So I'm going to take the 325.9 and divide by 15.5. And so that's going to tell us that we have 21 point and several decimal places out miles per gallon. Now our directions said to round to the nearest tenth if necessary. In order to round to the nearest tenth, the tenths position here is a 0. So if you'll remember your rounding rules, we have to look one place to the right, and that tells us what to do, whether to round this 0 up or leave it alone. Since this is not 5 or more, we have to leave that alone. So as an answer, we would have 21.0 miles per gallon. So we would have these two answers. All right, let's try another one here. Hopefully we have enough time to get through this one. We're supposed to find the best buy here. So we have three different deals of soup here, and we can buy 2 cans of soup for $2.18, or we can buy 3 cans for this or 5 cans for this. In order to find out what our best buy would be, we want to know how much money we have to pay per can. So if I want money per can, I can set each one of these up and then figure out which one is the best buy. For our first one here, if I want money per can, I'm going to write the $2.18 on top and 2 cans on bottom. And then we can let our calculator figure out what that would be. So if you take $2.18, 2.18, and divide by 2, you should get 1.09. So that tells us it's $1.09 per can. Now for our second one, again, if we want to know how much it would be per can, we would have to take the $3.57 over 3 cans. And then again, let your calculator do the work. So we'll get $1.19 per can. And then we'll do the last one the same way. If it's $5.29 for 5 cans, we're going to let the calculator do the work, and that would be 1.058 per can. So it looks like this one is our best buy because it's actually the